Hey, Trish Jenkins here, and in this live broadcast, we are going to talk about buckets of money and your Mojo account. And this is particularly relevant to people who, if you're anything like us over the last 30 years, the money has been unpredictable. So if you're on commission or you own a business, and even if you don't, it's going to be helpful to you. So enjoy. We're going to start. And I need to give you a disclaimer about this, which I'll do in when we start back. But this is not personal financial advice. This is just wisdom that we've learned over the years that is just helpful. So stay tuned. The strongest prison bars are in your head. Leaders and teams, it's time for a jailbreak. Back again. Okay, so buckets of money, Mojo accounts, commission-based payment, it all sounds a bit confusing and a bit dreamy. Here's the thing. What comes in needs to be allocated. Now, it can be a bit dreary, you think, allocating, what am I going to spend on this? What am I going to spend on that? But what I want to encourage you to do, when you do you can call it a budget, you can call it, Bob Harrison likes to call it a cash flow cash flow projections, because I think that's what he calls it, because budget sounds so restrictive. But the thing is, if you do this, you're going to find that your cash flow actually goes where it's supposed to go and it will work for you. So what is it? Well, before we start, I need to tell you, this is not personal financial advice. I took this off the ASIC website, but basically I can't take any liability. This is just principles of finance that are wise and helpful. And so you apply them as you interpret them at your own risk. And if that's too hard for you, then turn off the video now. But here's what my husband and I have always done is whenever money has come in, we've allocated it to separate accounts, whether it be at the time, if we didn't have a house, it was for rent, for the car and so on. Different accounts. Now, Martin Morris talks about this, and he says, and he's great. G'day, Martin. I'll put a little @ thing in the text when I tidy this video up afterwards. But he talks about buckets, that there are buckets of funds for different areas of your life, including a fun bucket. And Scott Pape, the Barefoot Investor, calls one of these accounts your Mojo account. It's that account just for that gets you your mojo back. It's that fun account. And if you are my Auntie Leslie, who sadly passed on Christmas before last, she gave me some wisdom. She actually said every bride needs a running away from home account. So it's where you put some money in each time it comes in into a separate account that will let you run away if you have to or if you want to, and that you just know that it's there means that you're free to stay. And I thought that was rather cute. So I now talk to my husband about my running away from home account, because I'd remembered that. I got to know her better as a grown-up later in life, where she shared this wisdom with me, and she was just beautiful and very clever and brilliant. But maybe everybody needs a running away from home account, which brings me to a funny story, actually. Oh, should I tell this one? Okay, so back when, before our disaster, when we were investing really well in some things, one of my girlfriends from church came to me and she said, look, I want to earn some money. I want to earn some separate money because I'm going to leave this mongrel. So, and she wanted me to help her fund her leaving her husband. I went, Anyway, what ended up happening is that we hit our disaster, and out of that, her husband actually became a Christian and had a glorious conversion, and then wanted to do missions work, and they ended up going off into, I think, central Queensland to work with disadvantaged people and so on. So she never got to run away that I'm aware of. I've lost touch, but I thought, how strange. People lose money and they just go to pieces. Other people, it gives them an encounter with what's real and their life goes in a different direction. I just thought that was a little bit quirky. So how does this work? Now, I've opened up another screen that I want to share with you, because what you might have, now let me see, we don't want to remove that. We want to go, there we are. We want to go here. In fact, I'm going to make that a bit bigger. And I'm pretty sure, and you can tell me if, I hope this works, but I'm going to go to that screen here and write on it so that you can hopefully see as it comes. I'll get better at this, don't you worry. But I just want to do a little tip every day. So if you have a commission-based income, or it is unpredictable because you're in business, as ours has been, and there have been weeks where there has been no income, none, zilch. But what we've always done is you might allocate, I was going to use my pen on my keyboard, but that won't work, will it? Okay, so yes, you set aside your rent or your mortgage. Spell it right, Trish. This was a bit of a risk, wasn't it? Rent or your mortgage. You have your power. You can budget that out. You might have an account for that, or your utilities. Now, our dog Dash, who may or may not bark at someone, he's on the floor here, but our dog Dash comes under utilities. So I budget for his, I set money aside for his, he gets worming tablets and that sort of thing. And so you might also have an account. What might be another account that you have? I'll just check in and see if anybody's watching. They may watch later, but if you've got a comment, there are other accounts that, oh, look, that's working. That's good. Okay. So other accounts might be, you might have your groceries. You might have your, what Justin and I also, so you can make your own lists here. But we also have what we call our fun account, which is what Scott Pape, Barefoot Investor, would call your Mojo account. Or it's an account where no matter what he gets paid or what I get paid, when we put money into that account, it's a percentage. So some of your costs are definitely fixed, but others can be a percentage. So your entertainment, your fun. So every time we get paid, a little bit goes into that fun account. And what that has allowed us to do, even like there are weeks when there's none, well, that's fine, but sometimes it might just be a little bit. So percentage-wise, we put a bit into that account, a bit. Sometimes it's a larger bit. There is also your giving. Well, I do my giving weekly, so I don't have a separate account for my, actually we do. We have got an account, what do we call it? We call it random. We have a random account. So we have our regular giving, but we also have our random account where we have got money sitting there so that if we encounter somebody that is in need that we feel impressed to, we can just go to that account and the money's already there. And we can just quietly give them $100 or something like that, where, and it's always best, try to do it so that people don't know about it. I mean, if you're sponsoring something, fine, but it's kind of fun to give without getting the glory for it. Like, oh, aren't I just so wonderful? Yeah, you're just so good. It's like, oh, don't draw attention to the person's disadvantage and need and how great you are. That's just so, yeah, you've already got your beautiful clap. You've already got that going on. So do that quietly. And yeah, so it's percentages. Now, so we were putting into this account, and that meant that every year, by the end of the year, one thing my husband works harder than I do, because what I do is fun. I love what I do. And he sells solar panels. If you need solar panels, get in touch, talk to us. That's what he does. So, yes, percentage goes in, and at the end of the year, he loves the beach. I'm happy anywhere that I can be left alone to read a book. I don't mind, and I get to travel. I actually felt quite guilty one year when I went to Florida, and I went to, where do you go off Florida? Bahamas. I was participating in a conference. I wasn't the main speaker. I was there, and I shared a little bit, but I was having an experience there in the Bahamas. I don't need to go on holidays, but it's fun. So for me, my fun account might be to do with recently I've started horse riding, so I might buy some treats and take them out there, or do something. I don't know. But my fun things, I love my work so much, it doesn't take much for me to have fun. It might be going out to dinner with the kids or chocolate. It might be that. But having, when it's there and it's percentage-wise, it's very empowering. Very empowering. So what else have I got in my notes? That's pretty much it. It's pretty much it, because I could go into more detail about the challenges. I'll tell you what I do want to tell you. Gosh, has that been 10 minutes already? I was trying to do these really quickly and be less than 10 minutes. So we know it is Resilient Finance Week. So that's what we're doing this week, a little bit every day. So I've got some more things to talk to you about there. And one of them is that success is on the other side of inconvenience. If you think doing up a budget is inconvenient, try not having any money in a budget. Pastor Mark Ramsey often talks about this. Success is on the other side of doing the boring stuff, of doing the inconvenient stuff. But once that's in place and you just do it each time, you'll be so glad you did. It takes so much stress out, so much pressure off, and it's there. It's there. It might not always be as much as you want it to be, but it's there. And that just gives you a whole different way of looking at things. It's empowering. We're also going to be talking about this business of, I can't sell, I can't do this. When our kids were little and we were devastated, had nothing, and they needed to go on camp, I'm going to save that for tomorrow. I'm going to show you some of the things that we did to pull some money together to help them and to get stuff done. And that'll be fun, that one. Alrighty, so here we are. Was there anything else I had forgotten? I did put I mentioned Barefoot Investor, Scott Pape, and also Martin Morris. Whatever he's doing, whatever he does is clever. But he also talks to people about buckets, or at least he did at the time when I was involved with his business, and he gave me one of my very early, he trusted me with one of my very early keynote speeches to his financial groups. So thank you. Thank you, Martin. That was great. So, and when you have these accounts, if you have a mortgage, if you have them in an offset account, so that have it working for your mortgage, when the money's sitting there, it's offsetting your mortgage, so you pay interest on a lesser amount. But once again, I should tell you, talk to your financial people about this, talk to the professionals about it. So if they don't agree with me, fine. But this is something that has worked for us and been able to allow us to get our new house that we got a couple of years ago. Oh, one last thing. Should I tell you this now? Yeah. One of the strategies, people try and put everything towards offsetting debt. I'm going to make that another entry on this, and I'll make a note of that. You can remind me about how to pay down debt. One of the ways how to pay down debt. And it's not necessarily putting everything towards the debts. There's a strategy that works. So we'll do that on another day this week. Okay, bless you heaps. And I must remember, because I sometimes forget, my outro. Had this made, got to use it. All right, bless you heaps, and I'll see you next time. Oh, don't forget to like, comment, share, all of those stuff. And if you're on IGTV, g'day. I'm starting to get the hang of it. And podcast as well. So, all right, cheers. Bye-bye.